Welcome to Friday Takeaway. This week we are looking at Reach Energy and Sapura Energy, but before that we get into news that Datin Sri Rosmah Manto has been charged with 17 counts of money laundering and tax evasion, to which she has pleaded not guilty. If found guilty, she could face life in prison. She was released on bail of 2 million ringgit. Her husband, former PM Dato Sri Najib Razak, was also in court for his own case management. Like Rosmah, he too pleaded not guilty to 32 charges, which included money laundering, abuse of power, and criminal breach of trust. Tencent Music is going public for a hotly anticipated US IPO. It spawned from China's Tencent Holdings, which also operates WeChat. Tencent Music is also China's largest music streaming service with over 800 million users. It also makes money, with 263 million in profits in the first half of 2018. The death toll from last Friday's earthquake and tsunami in Indonesia has risen to over 1,400 people. The 7.5 magnitude earthquake had struck off Sulawesi, setting off a tsunami that engulfed Palu. Aid and supplies are only now beginning to arrive, and survivors have no access to running water or electricity, and there has been widespread looting. Kuantan MP Fuzia Saleh is going to investigate Linus's rare earth plant in Gebeng. Critics say the probe could threaten one of the only sources of rare earth supply outside of China. Linus are not happy either, saying that the many investigations that have already taken place makes it, as a result, one of the most reviewed companies in the world. The oil rally has sent oil prices to a steady $85 per barrel, but it's not lifted Malaysia's entire energy sector. So in this week's This or That, we delve deeper into two local players, Reach Energy and Sapura Energy. Let's begin. Reach Energy is an oil and gas exploration and production company with a 60% share in the Emir oil fields in Kazakhstan, which span 850 square kilometers in a concession which lasts until 2036. Reach Energy are on a roll after posting their first quarterly net profit since taking full control of Emir, and has also won approval to commence trial production in 2 of its oil fields. And there are also cost savings from logistics improvements via a new oil terminal. But all this needs money. Reach needs to raise up to $100 million, $44 million of which goes to paying the rest of buying Emir, and another $44 million for capex. Meanwhile, production costs are expected to stay elevated since money is needed to rejuvenate inactive wells, which is going to cancel out the cost savings from the logistics improvements I mentioned earlier. And this year's bottom line is expected to be hit by interest costs on existing shareholder loans and the as yet unpaid consideration of $44 million. Last month, Hong Leong Investment Bank maintained their 36 million ringgit loss forecast for FY18 and kept the hold rating and 35-cent target price for Reach Energy. Nonetheless, though, Reach has done really well this month, up by nearly 50% in the period, putting it well beyond Hong Leong's target price. Sapura Energy. They're an integrated oil and gas services and solutions company operating across the entire upstream value chain, offering exploration, development, production, rejuvenation and decommissioning services in over 20 countries worldwide. Now, despite Brent crude oil prices in the mid-80s per barrel, this positivity has yet to result in contract flows towards local players. As Kenanga says, as of September, total contracts were still flat on the year and still a lot lower than 3 to 4 years ago. Plus, Sapura Energy posted Q2 losses of 126 million ringgit from a profit of 29 million a year earlier. Now, Macquarie Research says it's time for Sapura to bounce back. It sold half its E&P business to OMV, which gives synergies in boosting recovery rates in mature assets, and announced a cash call, which will likely be underwritten by major shareholder PNB and several banks. Macquarie has an outperform call in Sapura with a price target of 52 cents a share. Now, investors are beginning to warm to the counter, its shares already having risen 14% in the past month.